Ripples on Deep Water by Orphan Count on AO3. Episode 9. Chapter 9. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. There were a lot of things Shouta didn't want to deal with right now. First was the blonde idiot that used up his time and as a result was completely useless for the entire attack. Second was his students. They were still regrouping. Yagi had been the first teacher to show up and the others still on their way. Third was Maijami's students. Hanta was in a screaming match with Hatsume about something he couldn't quite hear. Reiki was walking around stiffly with blank look on her face as several drones followed them while she went from one unconscious villain to another. Midoriya was helping Shouta tend to his wounds with a practice he really didn't like. Fourth was the whole fiasco with the whole risk maneuver 1F, specifically Hatsume and Midoriya led. Given it was smart, but it was also incredibly reckless. Eventually, Hatsume stomped over and started messing with Midoriya's black hair, unbothered when he moved around as she pinned it exortedly into a bun and pulled a beanie hat out of nowhere to fit over that. "May vision," she said shortly, and Midoriya paused in wrapping Shouta's leg to the side, a pair of silver goggles over his face, his lips thinning before he returned to his previous duty. "I can take care of it myself, Midoriya," he snapped. Midoriya raised an eyebrow. "You have 2 broken arms, a broken collarbone, and both hands have rope burns from when Big Bird grabbed the capture weapon. I think the fuck not." "Wig snatched," Hatsume elaborated, and Kami above, Shouta regrets ever marrying Hisashi because he actually understands what she's trying to say. He's not old by any means, but he definitely doesn't want to be in touch with the youth that much. Yagi was approaching and Midoriya shot him a glare over his shoulder. Shouta briefly wondered about that before Hatsume stood and went over to the hero, her steps slowed and deliberate. "Took you long enough," she snapped. Yagi blinked in surprise. "Who are you? You are not one of my students." She flipped a pink dreadlock over her shoulder. "How dense are you, old man? 1F came here to observe the hero students and come up with support items for them, plus test our own in an open area when they left. But no, villains broke in, coming to kill you. And when you weren't here, they got pissed and attacked us kids. Do you know who handled the situation, asshole? Huh?" All Might took a visible step back, his hands raised placatedly. Shouta watched with unraised eyebrow and a smirk hidden in his capture weapon as the over-exuberant support student verbally ran over the number 1 hero and continued, not listening to his protests. "Support Course 1F handle it. The students that aren't trained to handle villains or fight or utilize their quirks or form battle strategies. You know who busted a hole in the dome to get a signal out? Coins, Finna, of Support Course 1F. You know who took out almost 20 villains with highly experimental gas and 0 fatalities? Reiki Pearl of Support Course 1F. You know who covered those 2? Hanaban of Support Course 1F. You know who caused a massive distraction? Me, Hatsume Mei of Support Course 1F. You know who captured 18 waterborne villains and rescued 2 hero students? Who distracted the lead villains? Who sent out his distress signal? Who took out the main weapon? Who came up with the plan to save our lives? No, my best fucking friend of Support Course 1F. There was no stopping Hatsume now. Shouta didn't even bother stepping in. She was right, and Yagi needed to hear it from someone that wouldn't be kissing his ass the entire time. A bunch of kids with no formal training handled the situation better than 1A, and took control of it efficiently. "So get your head out of your ass. It isn't a fucking hat. And maybe focus on your actual fucking job. Teaching kids to survive in an incredibly dangerous business, instead of meddling where you're not needed. You've got 2 injured teachers, only 1 still mobile, and rounding up 25 kids and over 70 villains. Several wounded students that likely are going to be scared mentally by this incident, so instead of standing around looking pretty, how about you go fucking help my Jame-sensei before I jumbo flip your ass into the concrete? There was an amount of pure silence. Most of the students within earshot, so all of them, stared with open mouths and wide eyes. Majami paused with 2 unconscious villains on either shoulder, and Midoriya slowly stand up to take Hatsume's arm. Thanks, Mei. Can you take Honda's experimental med kit to 13-san? I'll stay with Eraserhead-san. Reiki turned her blank eyes to Midoriya, her eyes clearing for a moment as the drones landed. I'll search around the area for the missing students, Midoriya-kun. I believe Todoroki, Bakugou, Kirishima, and Hatsume are the only ones unaccounted for. Nope, I'm here. Empty air piped up, and Midoriya groaned, running a hand over his face. Todoroki, red, white hair. Kirishima, red hair and sharp teeth. Bakugou, loud, blonde, bad attitude. I believe Todoroki was in the Blizzard War and Bakugou in the ruins. Not sure where Kirishima is, but I think he and Bakugou are together from what Su-chan told me. Ask Fen-chan to follow your drones on foot with Mei-Mei's Mei Vision to check out problem areas. Shouta grunted, struggling to stand, and getting what he was known a glare from behind the mirror lens of Midoriya's goggle. I'm fine, Midoriya. When I needs to know, I'm going to be fine. His nasty look didn't alberiate what Shouta went to his side, muttering to himself as he circled the teacher, hands twitching as if itching to write something down. Your ankle is sprained, he pointed out after a minute of that. At least use something to support yourself. Asui came over to join Midoriya. Midori-chan kudo? She started. Why are you covering up your face? Shouta jolted slightly. She was right. Midoriya was a plain kid outside of his hair and eyes, which the eyes and beanie covered. There are some people in your class I'd rather not let know I'm here. I plan on winning the sports festival, and if they know I'm in UA, I'll lose my advantage. Huh, okay. Eraserhead-san? Just Aizawa. My name is Aizawa Shouta. Didn't Majami tell you that? Midoriya gives him a placated look. No. Damn that man. Aizawa-sensei. He corrects himself. You can't ignore your health, and that is not negotiable. He sighs, ignoring the throb of pain from it. What do you suggest, problem child? There was a pause. Midoriya offered his arm. Shouta sighed deeper. Mei was pissed. Sue her, okay? She just survived a villain attack and was immediately reminded that this was the path her best friend had chosen. She faced down someone that Izuku, her sweet, shy, hurt Izuku, had his dreams crushed by, and she was in the same radius as someone that damaged him so much, physically, emotionally, and mentally. She had dropped that bastard Hanta's medical supplies to the girls, Uraraka and Ashido, and was now falling into step with Izuku as he supported Aizawa-sensei. Her hands twitched in her sides, protective of him even now that the danger had passed. A pair of drones halted the entrance, a Faze carrying an unconscious boy with 2 others trailing behind her. Hatsume-chan. Mei darted over, repressing the urge to sneer at Bakugou. It wasn't the place or the time, and she couldn't lose her cool and expose Izuku. Fei-chan. You can call me Mei, by the way. It's only fair. Fei grinned before blowing a strand of her ginger hair from her face. Todoroki-kun is cold sick. Hypothermic? Midoriya supplied, and her Irish friend nodded with a slight smile. Bakugou-kun and Kirishima-kun were trapped in the ruins by Bakugou's big explosions. Bakugou sneered, and Mei smiled dangerously back. Kirishima whacked his classmate. Who the fuck are you extras? Hatsume Mei and Koi-fana of Support Course 1F. Mei announced proudly. We were sent here to absorb your class and come up with support items, but we also beat up a lot of villains. Mei ignored the strings of insults about how she wasn't actually all that helpful and bent closer to Faye to whisper something seriously. Don't mention Izuku's name. Call him Rhea. It's not my place to explain. She nodded mutely, understanding it was a secret, and rolled her shoulders. Can you take Todoroki-kun? Sure. Mei took the hero student from Faye, turning and walking towards the front where Aizawa-sensei and Izuku were approaching. Doors wide open and several heroes wading through the crowd to check on the kids. I think the hero teacher has something to say. They all gathered. Aizawa-sensei activated his quirk, gathering the attention of the whole crowd. My students, you handled the situation well, but do not let this get to your head. You will have sections with Town Dog, whether you think you need it or not. You're all too young to be thrown into this kind of battle, but we were unfortunately not given a chance. As some of you may have already learned, the 5 students of Class 1F accompanied us to design support items and test their own, while also observing 1A in secret. When the battle broke out, they took control of the situation and, as Asui said, came up with a plan to get help. Well, what they did was incredibly reckless. Aizawa-sensei elaborates heavily, sending a glare at Mei. It should also serve as a reminder that the 1 classes are not to be looked over in terms of potential or power. He said nothing else, and Izuku helped the man limped over to an empty gurney, where a paramedic started looking over him. Izuku came over to Mei, and she gave him a weak smile. He didn't return it, but she knew he appreciated it anyways. Mei-chan, get Todoroki to a paramedic. Mei, round up the other 2 and get them to Maijami-sensei. I'm gonna get on a bus and have a mental breakdown. With that, he turned on his heel and walked straight out of the door, ignoring the paramedics that tried to stop him. Mei stood in shock for a minute before making a split-second decision. Can you get the rest of 1F, Mei-chan? I'm gonna go here, Rhea. Faye nods absolutely, hurrying to a paramedic after Todoroki's back, and Mei practically ran to the bus. Izuku needed her. Consequences be damned. I feel better being back. That was a hard chapter to read for some reason, so sorry if there was some mistakes in there or whatever. I'm getting back into my groove. Chapter 10, Hurts Like Hell. Summary, Izuku realizes that the Midoriya family is broken, and maybe it always has been. Oh god. Oh god. Notes. A note about Inko. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, I'm scared. I read, what's it called? I read, Inko is a good person. Please understand that. But, and this could never be good. I'm scared. Guys, I'm trembling. I'm shivering me timbers. Shivering thy timbers. I am petrified. I'm actually petrified. Guys, I'm scared. Guys, I'm scared. Guys, I don't think you understand how scared I am. Anyways, this was, did I just see For the Want of a Nail? Oh my god, this was inspired by For a Want of a Nail. No way. Oh my god. Of course it was. Of course it fucking was. Ugh, that is one of the big fics. I was talking about this with Pika the other day. There is certain type of, not fame, but infamousy. I don't know how to say it. Word of mouth? I don't know. But there's certain, I guess fame. So I can't find another word for it. Where either your fan fictions, fuck, why did I do that? Sorry, I have a wax burner. And right now I have it on where like it's the glass thing. And I'm like, it's the wax is all liquidy and I dipped my finger in it. Okay, we're not gonna talk about how absolutely reckless that was and how if it were not for the fact that I did it on my pointer finger that I normally use my hot glue gun on, which I'm pretty sure I burned the nerve endings of this because of freaking because of theater class, you would think, what do you mean on theater class? Why would you use a hot glue gun on theater class? I don't think you understand. Theater kids, look. Hot glue guns are our best friend. Duct tape is our best friend. Safety pins are our best friends. And, you know what else is our best friend? crew. And drugs. Anyways, no, I'm joking on the last part. But, anyways, enough of that. With fanfictions and fanfic writers, you're either, you as a writer are known, or your fic is known. Or sometimes it's both. For example, there is fics that are known. Think, Civil Class Warfare. Hero Civil Class Warfare, whatever, that. That fic is infamous. Tell me who it's made by. Without looking, just top of your head. You can't say who. The fic is infamous, not the author. Do not get me wrong, the author probably also has some fame because their fic is so wide known and popular and has influenced so many other fics. But in the end, it's their fic that is known, not them. Then there is people who are known. Personally, any other Shindeku enjoyer that I've talked to that reads fanfiction and reads it through AO3 from online, specifically Tumblr and Blue Sky that I've talked. Specifically Tumblr. Kira is a big one because they have a lot of... no, that's for Eraser Mic, my bad. Kira is a big one for Eraser Mic. There's no Shindeku one. Why the fuck did I say Shindeku? Whatever. Another one that falls under the author is known. Kira is known. It's not one of their fics that's like wild blown. It's just Kira is known for being the fanfiction author that writes Eraser Mic, right? They write Eraser Mic. You search up Eraser Mic and you search up fics, their fics are gonna pop up there because it's Kira. Anyways, whenever people do you recommend even if you search up on TikTok, like Eraserhead recommendation, like fanfiction recommendation, you're gonna get a lot of Kira fics recommended to you for the simple fact that it's Kira. I think I saw a video once where it's like, if you're looking for a good Eraser Mic fic, look at anything that Kira writes, right? Most of what Kira writes is Eraser Mic. And it's really cute and it's really nice and you should go check it out. That was a recommendation. Go check out Kira. Anyways, that is one where the author is known and not necessarily their fics. Do not get me wrong, some of their fics are really good. And there was this one fic that they orphaned that I cannot wait to be able to podfic. I know they orphaned it. I don't know why they orphaned it. It was so good. And it's an Eraser Mic fic, and I absolutely love it. Anyways, there's that. Then there's also, let me think. I can't speak. I can't think. Thinking is not a thinking thing that's thinking that is thinking. Anyways, sorry. I just can't think. Then there is when you're both known. Think Clouds, My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. They are known, and specifically, literally any of their For a Want of a Nail series is widely known. I think their most popular so far, though, is Deku. I think He's Some Pro by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down on AO3, and Cheat Code Support Strategist. I believe there's a third one. Give me a second. I can't take it out of the head. Mastermind. Support Strategist for Hire. Yes, those are the three big ones, right? Any other of the Want for the Nail is also big, but those are the three big ones that you think about. Those are like the big three, right? And then you have fics where the fic itself is known, as I said. If you think about it in other world scenarios where it isn't fanfiction, think actors. There's certain actors where you see them and they're known for them and not a specific role. For example, The Rock. You know The Rock because it's the fucking Rock. I mean, come on. It's The Rock. It's The Rock. But then you have people like... Give me a second. It's Hunger Games. Give me a second. Hunger Games cast. Then you have people like Jennifer Lawrence. Do not get me wrong. She's an amazing actor. I've seen some of her other films that aren't The Hunger Games. But let's be honest. When you see her, you don't see the actor. You see the movie. You see the character. Sometimes that happens, right? That is a less severe moment, but there's some times where you see the character and you're like, you cannot separate the character and the actor. Or when you're talking about them, you're like, oh yeah, that one actor, right? And it's infamous where like everyone does this. I used to think that Josh Hutcherson also fell under that umbrella, but no longer. Or I think Pedro Pascal. He's infamous. He's big. I can only name one thing that he's been in, I'm gonna be honest with you. But Pedro Pascal, he's really big. Never mind, too. But you know him for him. Not because of a role he had. You don't know him for a role. You get what I mean? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's also, like, you know, actors out there that you see them and you're like, I know that actor. I've never seen a movie of his before, but I know that actor. You know, kind of situations like that. Same with, like, songs and songwriters. There's infamous, big, famous songs where you know the song, and then you're like, oh, who made it? I have no fucking clue. I just know that I fucking love the song, and it's an amazing song. And then you have people where, like, you know them as a writer, like as a singer and stuff like that, but you're like, oh, name one of their songs? I have no fucking clue. I just know that they're really big and famous, and whatever. For me, obviously, each one of these varies and stuff like that, especially when it's a wider range like this. Fan fictions is the less wider. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Why am I... Day 1 and I'm rambling. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.